Alright, thank you very much for joining me again. This is Gull Payne. Thanks for clicking on the video. And today I'm going to do my top 5 Suikoden games. So basically, I love Suikoden. Like, I have all the games, but I thought I'd just put all the games in order and kind of see, like where I'd put each game. And then if anyone disagrees with me or agrees with me, let me know in the comment section below. So PJ Venom, one of my person I'm subscribed to on YouTube, he done like a top 5 Resident Evil list. So I was like, I might do it for Suikoden. I've done one for Resident Evil. I might do it for Suikoden, and I might do it for another couple of games as well, like in a series where like I have a few of the games, or I've played a few of them anyway. So let's have a quick look. Okay, so coming in at number 5 then. Okay, so coming in at number 5, or numero quattro or something, is Suikoden Tierkris for the old DS. So this is really good. It's not as good as the rest of them because you're sort of a bit limited on what you can do. The characters are, I said this before, but the characters are very, very similar. The story is kind of funny as well. It kind of takes place in I think it's an alternate dimension than the other Suikoden games, and it's like way before the other games. And there are a few strange bits in it as well, but overall it's an excellent game. It took me ages to finish as well. Some of the characters, because if you play Suikoden games, you have to get 108 stars of destiny, and some of the characters are like really difficult to get in Suikoden Tierkris. That's true of all the games. Like, some of the characters are really difficult, like you need a guide to get them. But Suikoden Tierkris is an excellent game. And then coming in at number 4 then is Suikoden 5. So Suikoden 5 is fantastic. It's like the newest of the Suikoden games. Well, apart from the PSP one, Woven Web of Century, but that never came out in Europe. That only came out in Japan, and it's got like a recent sort of like translation as well, but it's tough to get the patch working for us people that aren't very savvy with the old computers, or really savvy anyway. But Suikoden 5 is great. It's got the 3D graphics, it's got the really good sound. It's not as good as the rest of the games, I don't think, anyway. There's not as much kind of intrigue, or I don't know, I just didn't find it as appealing as the rest of the games. Maybe I should go back and play it again, because it's like years since I played it anyway. Suikoden 5. And then number 3 then, we've got most people's number 1, which is Suikoden 2, which is just like phenomenal game, just absolutely excellent. I haven't actually played it in a while because I prefer the other Suikoden games than Suikoden 2, but the music in it is excellent. There's just so much to do in it. Like, I mean, I think it's a year since I played it, but there's just so much to do, and there's so much to characters to get, and kind of just different kind of things going on, and like really like heartwarming stories and stuff. But Suikoden 2 is excellent. Coming in at number 2 then, I think Suikoden 2 would be at number 1 for a lot of people. It's Suikoden 4. Now this might be a surprise, because a lot of people don't like Suikoden 4, but I really like Suikoden 4. I think the hatred comes from the amount of like random encounters you have in Suikoden 4. It's unbelievable. There's just random encounter after random encounter when you're on the ship. But I really like the ship, and kind of getting the characters and kind of building up the ship and having it like as your base. And the story is okay. It's a bit like disjointed, the story, because once you finish it, there's no like kind of main bad person in it either. There's more like a collection of bad people, or like a kind of at the north, there's like they're trying to invade the south or something like that, and you're trying to, I don't know, go around and get your army together. But I love Suikoden 4. I could play that right now. I love going back and kind of going back to the different places as well, and there's a lot to do in it, particularly with the little girl with the sticks, like when you have to go around and get the different objects. That's really difficult. You definitely need a guide for that as well. And coming at number 1 then is the original Suikoden 1. So I'm really looking forward to the Suikoden 1 and 2 remaster that's going to come out next year for the Switch. So that looks absolutely amazing. So I can't wait for that, actually. But because like, hopefully they keep the story the same, they don't change that much. They just sort of upgrade the graphics a little bit. Like, a lot of the kind of the 3D environments when you do the fighting and all that, they don't look very good. Like, the cave environments, they're very simple and all that. And some of the backgrounds are very simple as well. Like, they're very like, two-dimensional. They don't really attempt to do 3D, or if they do, it doesn't really look good at all. Or they don't attempt to give like scale and stuff. Like, the houses are tiny, and you go into the house and it's huge or stuff like that. So just little small things like that which would make it better, but that kind of has the charm of it. And I like the story in Suikoden 1 the best. And also the castle in Suikoden 1. I love the castle, I love walking around the castle. And even the character portraits, which is something I'd like to look at in detail as well, as like the different character portraits for different games. Suikoden 1's character portraits, they're so like, the different angles that they have the characters at. It's really good, I really like it. And they kind of, I don't know, it's difficult to describe, but they just sort of like, there's no voice acting in it either, which is kind of, there's like or something, but little strange things, but there's all these little things to find out, little secrets, and it's just great. Maybe it's just nostalgia from when I was a child. So that's my list of Suikoden games, my top 5. If you've got your top 5, let me know in the comment section below, or do a video response, that'd be even better. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Adios.